countdown. There. Now we're live.
Oh,
I would have thought with the count. Wait, no, not even yet. We are. What the fuck?
it says live. There's a
It says,
counter on
wait,
the top.
it looks like this broadcast was deleted on Facebook. Try creating a new broadcast or just remove the destination from. Fuck you. My God.
So confusing, this technology.
It really is. And then now can I create a new one on Facebook? Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, because because I created it and didn't realize I could schedule it. Now we're live. Let me make sure we're live on Facebook too. Yeah, I thought with the countdown it would have automatically put us live, but apparently not.
Yeah.
So we are live now. Just to recap the conversation we were having before we even went live. Yeah, so it's been a year to the day since we started doing this. I think we stopped around a little after Christmas time, I think. So we got like 3 months. We got 9 episodes in. And then, not like shit's gotten any better, but still something we want to do. So we're back at it again, and you've got your sports bar going up. See, and I forgot this dude's name already.
Oh, Gordon Ryan.
Gordon Ryan. Okay.
Yeah.
Gordon Ryan being the best jiu-jitsu practitioner there is right now.
That's right. He's he's most dominant grappler probably ever. I haven't been into the sport, I guess, long enough to say that, but from people who have watched it for a long time and just reading up on the history, it does appear that way. This guy's unbelievable. It's hard to put into words. Like, there's no athlete like in the world who's this much better than like the second best guy,
Okay.
Like, there's not even like, basically, if you were to rank it, there'd be him. Then there wouldn't even be a second or third place guy. You would start again with like the fourth place guy. That's how fucking good he is. Yeah.
And how long's he been doing it for?
I think he's only like 27. So
yeah, Oof, man, wow. That's something that's gotten so crazy now, is the way sports evolve like that. Have you heard of I'm sure you have. What do they call him? They call him Little Gronk. The kid's name is Madden.
Little Gronk?
Yeah, Little Gronk.
Oh, you know what? It's funny. My son actually has mentioned him. I think he's on YouTube.
He's this ridiculous. He's this ridiculous football player, and he's like 8 years old. His coach is a former coach of some college, so he's already committed to going to that college.
Right.
Yeah, and he's just one of those ridiculous child prodigies that every sport keeps getting, and then every sport is just evolves more and more every year, every season. And soon it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be like fucking, Spaceball is gonna be a sport, and there's gonna be ridiculous kids bouncing off the walls and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, it is nuts, and the exposure these young kids get is crazy.
Oh, that's the thing too. It's like, if you're into it, now you see this kid. Now the whole world knows about this kid. So now, kids that want to play, then now they're striving to be better than him. Plus, you got parents, man, that pump it down their throats since birth.
Oh,
which is funny because, like, I'm sure we talked about it before, but like your kids, they all play sports now, and you're obviously big into sports, but they did a lot of their own thing, right? Like, they were big into superheroes and
I was like sure not to like push it on them, and they kind of just got into it on their own. I mean, obviously they're exposed to it, but again, I'm not like shoving down their throats. I'm not pushing on them. They're big into superheroes and all different types of cartoons like Paw Patrol and
kid stuff.
And then my oldest is big into video games, but they're still into that stuff. But sports is taking over now.
Yeah, and they enjoy it.
Yeah, no, they do. They love it.
Yeah, so that's good. But that's what I'm saying.
They just watch football highlights and stuff on YouTube like all day.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Yeah. My youngest acts out, plays in the living room and stuff.
See now, because my son is playing football. He's playing flag. You got both of yours playing tackle football.
Yeah, they play. So my oldest played tackle last year. They both played flag in the spring, and now they're both playing tackle.
Mm. See, and like
So
that too. Like I even said it to my son. I was like, "Look, buddy, I know when we're not overly into sports. We don't watch a lot of sports, but it's fun to go to games and play. Because we went to the Rutgers game a couple weeks ago. It's fun to go
yeah,
to games and it's fun to play and be outside and stuff like that. Like I always like going to games, even though I don't watch them a ton on TV. But then, of course, he says it on the way home. He's like, "I'm just not that into sports." Like, you got to take what I said and twist it like that because he loves playing football.
yeah,
Unlike soccer, where he could just stood there and
right,
he'd just run back and forth, or he'd stand there and let everybody run back and forth. So, football, he kind of gets in the mix. He's blocking a little bit. He tries to run the ball and shit like that. So he's
yeah,
into it and he digs it. But you know what? He's not aggressive at it at all.
yeah.
And it's
That happened.
there was no athletic gene that I could have passed down to him. So he's just kind of making it on his own right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's not the one to go on YouTube and look at sports clips or anything like that. Like I said, we went to the Rutgers game. He couldn't give a shit. I mean, it was a long day for them anyway. The game
yeah.
started at 4, and they wanted us there by 11.
Why
And
they want you there at 11?
because we were in a parade with teams from towns all over the state,
Oh,
and it
gotcha.
was it was the first game of the season, so they had food trucks and they had some games there for the kids and stuff. So it was fun stuff for them to do. But man, we
Yeah,
were in the heat.
yeah.
So forget about it. We didn't make it through the first quarter. We left. We left before the first
Oh,
quarter
gee.
even finished. Yeah. I mean, Rutgers scored like 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, which was pretty happy with me.
Yeah,
But
yeah. They had a
yeah,
good game.
yeah. But then we split. We're like, we can't do this anymore. The kids are hitting their breaking point. We're sitting here in the heat. Of course, we forgot to bring sunblock, so we didn't want to friggin' kill them. So I was like, all
Yeah,
right, we better get out of here while things are still safe.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, they're not the kind to, even though like my daughter is big into, she's cheerleading now.
yeah.
Same routine. She was cheerleading at a game on Saturday, and at one point, she's in a ball laying down on the ground using her pom pom as a pillow. But she
Yeah.
still likes doing it, and most of the time she likes doing it. But then we saw cheerleaders at the Rutgers game, and it's like they were like celebrities. Like she was like
Oh, yeah.
nervous. Yeah, she was like nervous to see them, and she got a
Fun.
nice picture with some cheerleaders, and so that was cool. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
so they, like my wife tried putting on Bring It On for her to get into cheerleading.
yeah,
A little bit. They really couldn't care too much.
yeah,
Donovan still he'll go right to Power Rangers on YouTube and watch the same ones over and over and over and over again. And yeah, and she, they do it and they do it and at least they enjoy it. But yeah, they're not taking it home with them really.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot about what they're exposed to too. If you were watching sports nonstop, I'm sure
That's
it'd
exactly the
be
case.
you know,
Yeah, like I'm not watching wrestling a ton, so they don't really like wrestling. But
yeah,
superheroes and comic books, that they're not getting away from that. That's everywhere, and that's what they're watching. So
yeah,
yeah, exactly. So they, it's same old, same old. They're into me, and on YouTube too. Like I mean, that's funny. Like I'll watch highlights. Like we were at the barber shop today, and I'm watching highlights of the was it the who came back 23-7 or some shit like that this weekend. The Raiders were up and then they
oh yeah,
lost,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Cardinals came back to win.
and there was yeah, that's what it was. And there was highlights of that, and I heard about crazy shit going on with the Giants, and I saw Gary Vee going nuts about the Jets, and it's like,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, like
the
I dig it.
Jets were down 13 with a minute and like a half left, and they came back and won. They scored 14 points in the last minute and a half.
Wow,
Yeah, they
holy shit.
recovered an onside kick, which like with the rules now, the kickoff team, they don't get to line up like 5 yards deep. They have to line up like where the ball's kicked, so they don't get that running start. So the odds of recovering a onside kick now are like 14% success rate.
Oh, really?
So they
Yeah,
recovered an onside kick, then they drove down the field, scored a touchdown. Browns still had 22 seconds left. They get like a decently big play to get a little closer, and then the Jets intercepted to like seal the game. It was fucking
wow.
banana.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
super safe now, protecting the players and shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All those stupid safety rules they've got now.
Yeah. Fuck these guys.
And then the Giants too. The Giants did some. So I mean, because I was trying to think, like, I don't think I have any. Like, I have geek friends, but I don't think I have any. Well, I guess I do. I have like 2 friends, but when I go on Facebook and closer friends I have, uh, like they don't like pretty much everybody I know, even if they're into geeky stuff and movies, whatever, they're watching sports and they're paying attention to sports.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a nerve wracking thing, like taking my kid in the barbershop today. And it's like, we've talked about this too, I'm sure. And I'm like, oh man, these guys are gonna go in there. They're gonna ask me if I fucking saw the game on Sunday. Of course I
Yeah.
didn't. And I'm gonna be like, oh man, yeah, no, I don't really watch. Oh no, yeah, I heard it was crazy. What happened?
Before you go to the
And then like,
barbershop, I'm just thumb through ESPN real quick.
yeah, I got to do something. Thankfully, there
Yeah.
was literally nobody in there but the barber and us. But yeah,
Yeah.
but you go in there and everybody talks about what's going on, and I just got to sit there and have no idea what's going on because I'm not up on all of it. But then I hear other stuff too, where people talk like, yeah, like I don't pay attention to it daily, but there's people who like don't know the difference between runs and touchdowns and
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's
People call runs points.
points. Yeah, like you don't know how many innings are in a game or how many quarters are in a game.
Oh yeah.
Like
Cool.
kind of that is like, I mean, how did you get that far with being that clueless about sports? Like it's not my thing, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you think like you picked up something in like gym class or something.
Exactly. Where people talking or you come across it on TV. But when no, you know what it's too? It's tough to, I don't know. You know what it is? It's like almost like an upbringing, like a lifestyle. But again, too, my dad always did that. My dad was always, making sure he catching the games on the weekends and carving out that time, on the weekend to do it. I guess because I never got into it. That's why I was they never carved out that time and say, hey, Sunday is football day. We watch football, and that's it.
Well, that's what we do in my house. So
there you
yesterday, me and my oldest were down in the basement from 12:45 till like 7:30.
Really?
Just straight. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, you've got Well, all right. I'll ask you this though: were any of those TVs playing Toy Story or something else?
No, they were not. He had his iPad though.
Okay.
He did have his iPad, and he looked on that a little bit here and there, but he was into it. He was watching, but he got a little, sidetracked on his iPad, which is fine. But we weren't changing anything. We're at the age now where it's like, hey, guys, like they know how to use their iPad and they can watch what they want on that. They can also go upstairs if they want, and I don't care. But we're at the age now where,
yeah. Look, guys, this is what happens down here.
What's going on?
Yeah, because you got some friggin' setup down there, man.
Yeah,
they said the hookup with now. What is it? Three different cable boxes for.
So I got 2 cable TVs? Boxes and a Roku stick, and on that Roku stick, I have Spectrum is my cable provider. So I have the Spectrum app, and the Spectrum app is actually very good because it gives you basically your whole channel lineup just on the app, like everything you're subscribed to, HBO, NFL Network, you name it. So to save money, because I think it's like $10 per box per month. Yeah, I got rid of the one box. So
yeah, I got no cable. The only sports I'm catching is like what Prime puts out, which I think is like Thursday Night Football. You can watch.
Yeah, they have Thursday Night Football exclusively now.
I think I rip off Sling TV for my wife's friends so I could watch it on there if I want. Nice. But again, it never happens.
Streaming is getting better. Like I did notice this weekend that I didn't have any buffering issues because I had to stream the jiu-jitsu tournament because that was only on the Flow Grappling app. It wasn't on TV. So I had to stream that, and then I streamed the one game as well. And I had no like buffering issues or anything. And I feel like I normally do. So that's why I still have cable, because cable's old faithful. Turn it on, it's fucking there, and you're ready to go. Streaming, I feel like, can be.
Yeah. I'm going to guess this is my wife who said this. They're also 3 and 5 year olds. That's why they're not so into sports and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. Hey, again, mine are almost 6 and 8, so they're just getting into it. So yeah, yours are 2 years behind, basically mine. So
yeah, but still, I don't see that being something that we're gonna. I mean, again, like I'd like to get into football. Who did I bring this up to? But this was like an interesting deal because, of course, that meme went around. It was like time to let a sports team determine my mood for the next, 15 weeks. Or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, you know what it is? It reminds me of my job where I can't get my work done because I need to depend on somebody else to get their work done. and
Yeah.
it drives me nuts. So if I'm watching a sports team and I need them to win, and
Yeah.
I have no control of it, and they're losing, and I'm pissed off because they're losing, and I'm trying to support them.
Oh,
That's
dude. I mean, this is the story of my life.
that's what say how. Oh, well, yeah, as a Jet fan, how
I mean,
crazy.
I think the meme you're referring to, I posted. Yeah, like now's the time for the next 4 months. I'm going to let a football team dictate my mood all week.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, I can't. It drives me nuts at my job, let alone doing it on the weekends too.
Yeah. Oh, I was joking with my wife yesterday. Last week the Jets lost their home opener. I went to it. I have season tickets. I was there.
Yeah,
Last week I'm on like suicide watch. And then this week they win, and now I'm fucking looking up, hotels in the Arizona area in the beginning of February for the Super Bowl. It's like it's such a fucking week to week sport. It's crazy, man.
well,
Like,
that's yeah.
next
Like
week they'll lose. It'll be like fuck the coach, the fucking quarterback. And it's just,
I don't know, man.
and
I
I
don't
know
know
this
about.
is how it goes, but I still can't help myself. Dude, if you would have saw the things I was saying about the Jets yesterday in a text, and then if you just watched the evolution of text over 30 minutes from when they were down 13 to then when they won, it was just like, this guy's fucking nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't know, man. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't bring myself to put myself through that kind of an emotional ringer, because I know even when I was doing the Pick'ems league and just trying
Yeah.
to pick winners every week, that shit could get me crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, let alone being emotionally invested in it.
You know what it is, though? It's the high of like the wins. That's what keeps you coming back.
I guess that's what. Yeah, exactly. And you always hope for next year.
But there is times like I'll go upstairs to my wife, like example in the preseason, first game of the preseason, the Jets starting quarterback, Zach Wilson, their second year quarterback. He still has to prove himself, but he is the future of the franchise. He's a fucking meaningless preseason game. He tries to pick up like extra yards. He takes a hard cut, and it looked like he blew out his knee completely. Like all Jet fans, like, oh my god, this guy. Like if you watch enough football, you know what a torn ACL looks like, and that's what everyone thought. There's like a legit like football doctor on Twitter, and he like predicts injuries and stuff, and he's right like 95% of the time. He even said that looks like an ACL tear. So I remember going to my wife. I'm like, I think I need to go to therapy. She goes, why? I'm like, because the fucking health of a 23-year-old stranger's knee has like completely ruined my life.
That's exactly what I'm talking
And it's
about.
fucking pathetic. And there's times I step back. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, you don't have any control over this. Like, this really means nothing in the grand scheme of things, but I can't help myself. And then fast forward 24 hours, he gets an MRI and all his ligaments are intact. And he ends up having like a bone bruise with like a slight meniscus tear, which is like a 3-week injury. So he's going to miss like the first 3 weeks of the season. He'll be back like week 4. It was like dodging the biggest bullet because you tear your ACL, you're out for a year.
Oh yeah.
So then he's back, and now like life's back on. I'm like, oh, I can resume life again. Like, this is great. It's fucked up. It's fucking pathetic. I'm 38 years old. We're about this 23-year-old. I'm Googling like how to donate a knee, like I'll give you mine, Zach.
Yeah.
Like,
What blood type is he?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And I know it's ridiculous. I just can't help myself.
That's and you ain't the only one. That's the deal too, man.
Oh, I know.
Some people are nuts about it. But
if there was a camera down here when the Jets scored the go-ahead touchdown yesterday, I was going fucking nuts.
I bet it was nuts.
Yeah.
And that's the fun.
And then I was pacing. Then an hour after the game, I'm like still pacing around. My adrenaline got so high, I couldn't fucking sit down. It's probably not good, but whatever.
I mean, but it's fun, Like I always like going to the bar and watching the game and getting crazy, and stuff like that, and enjoying it. Like it's fun, but you know what? Because picking a team, and like we've always talked about that when I wanted to get into it, I'm rooting for New York teams and I'm rooting for the Panthers, and like that's it.
You must have been torn yesterday with the Panthers versus the Giants, huh?
Don't even know. The Panthers played the Giants yesterday. No idea. Didn't even know. Yeah, if there was an easy way, I mean there probably is, but if there was, I don't know, if I could just go on and look quick and see like what everybody's doing, like quick, which I probably could. I'm sure the ESPN app or some shit gives me like just quick updates, then I'd check it out. But again, and what did I do yesterday? Oh, we did nothing. We cleaned the house and tried to take the kids fishing at 7:00 at night. Our neighbors asked us if we wanted to go fishing. I was like, yeah, sure. What the hell? Why not? Let's go. Went to Way Yondon and checked it out, and we were there for like an hour, and that was cool. But no idea. My updates that I get are everybody posting on Facebook what's going on.
Yeah,
that's the updates that I get. Like, oh, everybody's talking about the Giant game, and it was crazy. Let me go see what happened with the Giant game. That's about it. Yep. Meanwhile, like if I'm watching something now, I can't. Like, I don't even know what to watch. I mean, like I can put on a game and watch whatever. I don't even know what to put on. There's so much shit out there to watch that I don't know what I want to watch. I don't want to watch anything. The freaking Lord of the Rings show, the new Game of Thrones. What the hell else? Yeah, I've watched. I think I'm like 2 episodes behind, or an episode, but maybe now it's 2 episodes behind on the new Game of Thrones show. I don't want to care. I want to watch it because I'm interested, but I don't care. Same thing with the Lord of the Rings show. Lord of the Rings show's okay, but nothing that I'm like, holy shit, I gotta watch this every week.
What's that, or what service is that on?
That's on Prime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing, because it's just quick and it's awesome, that like compels me that I really got to watch it every week, because now that it's back, is Rick and Morty. That's it. So everything else, like I said, like I don't care. I'm like She-Hulk. She-Hulk's actually really good. Have you watched She-Hulk at all? I doubt you have.
No, I'm not.
Have you? But that's okay. Well, let's go down this road now. Have you seen people talk about She-Hulk at all?
I have. I know where we're going with this. So, I was not interested at all. I just wasn't. Like, I don't know. It's like, did you really have to make a She-Hulk? So there was that. And then I like saw one clip where it was like, it was just the woke nonsense that I'm just not about. I'm just
talking about her twerking with Megan Thee Stallion?
No, her like yelling at fucking Bruce about like mansplaining or some shit.
Oh yeah. About
I was like, I don't need this in my life.
See, but you know what? I fell asleep watching it at first, and Crystal was like, "This looks fucking stupid," and she didn't like it.
I agree with Crystal 100%.
But then I watched it. I watched like the first 2 episodes, 3 episodes, and I like it, and I feel like she would like it too, because you know what? And honestly, yeah, it's definitely a female positive show, and a woman empowerment show with a strong female lead. But I dig that. I feel like, that's okay. Every Marvel thing and show has its own genre. That's what this one is. It's like watching one of those shows that you see where, it's a woman dealing with her life every day, and she has a job.
Well, I think like something like that's fine. I just think that it's like had to be the female version of Hulk, like the ultimate male, like meathead thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I think it bothers people. If this was just a completely like made up character, like Jessica Jones, I've never heard anyone bitch about her, right? Like,
she's a hoe and she's a drunk.
Well, right, but whatever, some people
there's no female positivity.
Well, you just name some fucking Captain Marvel, like I don't see an issue with that. Like, she's her made up character, like her own thing, and that's fine. Like, She-Hulk is clearly off a play off of Hulk, and then in like the first episode, she's got to like establish her. It's just like, it followed the woke playbook, and I'm just not into that.
Did you know that there is a She-Hulk?
Like, not really.
In the comics, let's see, when did She-Hulk debut?
Oh, I'm sure there is, but again, how fucking popular is She-Hulk? It's not.
Yeah, she fell off.
It's popular. It's now people know about it, but again, it just feels very forced,
Yeah, see, but I mean, she debuted and she first appeared in the Savage She-Hulk #1 in February of 1980. And she's had
been around 42 years, and I just fucking learned of her fucking 5 weeks ago.
Because again, she's definitely not.
Again, I'm not like a blind Marvel guy. Like, I'm not hardcore, but I'm definitely middle of the road.
They haven't put her on the front lines of anything, even though the show that is on right now, Attorney at Law, is based off of her last run, which a lot of people really like.
Where the fuck was she? Where me, my buddy Captain America, and Iron Man, when we were all fighting fucking Thanos? Huh? Where was she then? Huh? Could have used her then.
She didn't get her powers yet.
What?
She didn't get her powers yet.
But she's been around since 1980. What the fuck's going on here?
All right. Well, no. In the comics.
Oh, they had to play. See that? Like you weren't with me in the fucking.
That's what I'm
You
talking
weren't
about.
shooting jump shots with me in the gym, bitch. Like now you want to fucking
Well,
pull
that's
this
how.
nonsense on the real Hulk. Come on, give me a break. Get the fuck
No,
out.
fuck that. I love Jessica Jones. I love Jessica. Okay, hold on. I, I'm gonna guess I love Jessica Jones is my wife because we watched that. The first preview of the Jessica Jones show was where her alarm clock is going
Yeah,
off and she smashes her alarm clock with like the bottle of whiskey there. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, this is a cool show.
I like Jessica Jones too. She's her own person. She's original.
And
That's
then
some fucking wannabe.
so no, and then I love Jessica Rabbit. Sure. I'm gonna guess this is my wife's
Her too.
friend. So if
Original. See,
so
she's not trying to be someone else.
yeah. So on the Facebook group, um so no, no. You know what? This is the shit they talked about because they're both a little inebriated right now.
Oh no.
They're trying to take over. No, I don't need a woman who's like a man to teach me about female positivity.
There you
So,
go. See?
God, sorry. I'm trying to stick up for it here and say,
Yeah.
hey, it's a good show. I think ladies and guys would like this show, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's like the extreme
Well, there's
feminism.
clearly a large percentage that does not care for the show.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but again, see, I liked it. I gave it a chance. Open mind. It's fun. It's again, like I said, and it goes both ways. It's got action and superhero action, but it's definitely strong female lead dealing with her life and men that are assholes and shit like that. People are tearing it apart because
the people who are going to watch it will love it, but it won't be me.
Well, I mean that's fine. I'm just saying it's worth giving it a shot because it's fun and people are going nuts about it because the same deal. Like, oh, fucking Hulk's the man's man, and now you have to throw a woman in there and woke bullshit, blah blah blah. But again, there's always been a She-Hulk. She-Hulk, honestly, in the comics, She-Hulk sleeps with everybody. She slept with the Juggernaut. She slept with Tony Stark.
But she can't do that now, right? Because
she kind of already. She already did. She's been on dating sites. She meets some dude on the date. She takes him home and bangs him. So they're playing into that a little bit. So, I mean, again,
does she get angry when she bangs or no?
No, well, that's again. See, this is something that I thought was funny, and because so when she turns into Hulk, because Bruce is trying to teach her to be normal and not a maniac, so she gets mad and she breaks out of the cage, and then she's talking to him normal, and he's like, "Whoa, you're still you?" And so she's like, "I control my anger every day." When there's when there's guys catcalling me when I'm walking down the street, or when I'm trying. You saw that clip when I'm trying to do my job and there's a man who's trying to explain my own job to me because he thinks he can do it better than me. I manage my anger every day. And it's like, okay, I can make sense of that. That's a good way to interpret how she's still herself. And that's something that, like I said, as a guy, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then as a woman, they're probably watching it going like, fuck yeah, I relate to that. So, again, it's fun. I'm 2 episodes behind on it because it's not something I still have to run out and have to watch every week because nothing's like that.
Because it's not that great.
Yeah, it's not like drag me in compelling, but nothing is. Nothing is. I don't know. Are you watching anything else lately?
Have you watched Yellowstone?
No, I wanted to though because the prequel is out on Paramount, right? That's another one on Paramount. All right. First of all, what I want to say is for the people that are commenting like crazy, go to the post and there's a link on it. It's StreamYard.com/Facebook. If you click on that, you can sync up Facebook with this website and we can actually see your name. Because right now for everyone, it just says Facebook user. So if you want to actually see your name, go to that and sign up so we can actually see who's commenting and all this stuff. Because, I feel like there's 2 people in the chat right now that are going back and forth and having a great conversation. So that's on Paramount, right? Is Yellowstone?
Yes.
Started watching the first episode, didn't keep up with it, but I want to go back to it.
That's funny. I watched the first episode 5 times. I think I want to get into it, but I can't. But I also think it's more me than it is the show because everyone raves about it. But I just feel like I have like a fucking severe case of attention deficit disorder.
That's what it is. Like
between
I'll watch it.
Phones and video games, I just like if like a show really doesn't just like grab me, like like Cobra Kai grabs me, and I'm in.
Yeah, there you go.
And
That's
if you
the one that I
grab me
blew
that
right
one
through.
time, it's gonna take a lot. Like your show's gonna really have to take a turn for the worse and really suck for me to like ever back off it, right? Like another show I got big into was it's on it was on Amazon Prime. Reacher. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, with Jim.
No, that's
It's Jack. That's Jack Ryan.
that's Jack Ryan's very good too. There's 2 seasons.
Reacher's with the dude from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, he's fucking huge.
He was Aquaman on Smallville.
Yeah, that grabbed me right away. I was in. You know,
Say right, you never watched Smallville.
That was only no, not that. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Or I do know.
Yeah, with that guy.
I know from that. But like that grabbed me. I was all about that show, you know. But if I'm watching an episode or two and it's not like going, I'm gone. See you later.
Yeah, and like I said, the same thing. Same thing with, like I said, the Lord of the Rings shows, and it's okay, but I can't rush out and get it. Yeah, Cobra Kai knocked it out in a day, like it was nothing, because it was quick, and half-hour episodes. Plus, it was intriguing, and you could watch it fast. The story keeps going instead of just like I'm learning more from the recap, the next episode, than I am from actually watching the episode. Because too, if I'm on my fucking phone too much, like I don't care enough to just sit and watch it nonstop. There's nothing like that. And Yellowstone's on Paramount. Also on Paramount is the Halo TV show, which has been in production forever.
Yeah.
I tried watching it. The action, awesome. Like ripped right from the game. The weapons they use, the way it looks. The guy gets blasted a few times and like his health bar goes up, like just like the fucking game. It's so cool. Yeah. That's the first episode. The next 4 episodes, I don't know what's going on. I don't care.
Yeah.
The guy's running around with his helmet off. Good performance. The one guy that's in it is really good. He's been in a lot of shit, but it's not something I care about. And you know what? And then I skipped the last 4 episodes to go right to the last episode to see what happened. I didn't pay attention to that either. I can turn that off. Don't care. I mean, maybe that's another thing too. That's the short attention span that everybody has. Yeah. Like these, if I got to pay attention to it too bad, I can't. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely fall victim to that.
Yeah. That's why I'm watching, like I said, like a half-hour episode of Rick and Morty or fucking Cobra Kai. I can not blow through that. If I have to sit and watch and pay attention to it constantly, it's just not. I can't. I'm too scatterbrained. Yeah, and there's so much shit to choose from. The amount of providers out there and content, ridiculous. So you said with Yellowstone, you've watched the first episode 4 times, but you don't watch it anymore.
I just can't. I can't get into it. I finished it, but I haven't started episode 2. It just, I don't know. I just don't have interest. I want to, but
in all this time since our last episode, I have watched both seasons of Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I watched it months ago.
How awesome is it?
Oh, it's such a good show.
Right? Never mind. It's funny. It's just it's so well written. It's just good.
Yeah. It's like
good moments and
Yep. Shows that are like that. It's super funny, but it's also just feel good. Like The Office. The Office has tons of funny moments, but it's also a real feel good show.
I fucking love that show.
Yeah, that's Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, so good, so funny. Still cleaned house at the Emmys this past weekend, I think, or last weekend. Yeah, like Jason.
That show's great.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis, best.
I mean,
actor.
all the characters are just awesome.
Yep. Roy Kent won a best supporting actor.
He's the best. How do you not like that guy?
Yeah.
And then when Jamie had the thing with his father, I remember his jerk off father comes in the locker room.
Yeah, and he's yelling at him and giving him shit.
Roy and Jamie had that rivalry, but Roy saw Jamie was hurting and grabbed him.
Just gave him a hug.
Yep. Yeah, it was oh.
Yeah, exactly. One of those kind of because Roy's such a dick to everything. Even his character the whole time, he's just like, always pissed off, and then do a nice wholesome moment like that, and it means that much more because the show's funny so much, and then you have those moments. Yeah, it was a very good show. It's a reason why it swept up at the Emmys. How many times?
And the whole premise of it is just funny, creative.
Yeah. But then who knows if there'll be a season 3? you think there have to be, but
Yeah, the way season 2 ended, there's definitely a season 3.
yeah, with Nate, who's a little shitbag.
Yeah,
What a
sure.
bummer.
Only
Yeah.
guy that doesn't like Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's coach?
Oh, I forget. I don't know his name.
Yeah, well, him too.
Just
Yeah,
coach.
lots of great characters, lots of fun show. I was gonna just mention another show, but I fucking forgot. Oh, so my kids don't have TVs in their rooms yet, which I'm all for, but my wife isn't. And so at night we've been watching Modern Family.
Yeah.
Right, something that like they don't care too much, but they still enjoy watching.
Yep.
So we just binged Modern Family and then we started it all over again,
Yeah.
and still holds up.
Oh
Probably
yeah.
the
There's
best show I've ever seen.
that and The Office are like my two go-to. Like, all right, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing I really want to watch. It's on. Oh, that's on. Sure, let's go.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, I'm 3 episodes in. I'm like, oh wow.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I want to save it for the kids, like for when they go to sleep, to keep up with it. But then I'm still watching it when they fall asleep. I don't want to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yep.
Yeah. What the hell? I know you asked me too. Like, are you making notes? Like, I haven't started. I kind of tried to keep it. Like I said, my fucking wife and her friend, and they're not only are they taking over the comment section, but they're texting me because they're both a little inebriated. And yeah. So, all right. One of the other, let's see, show notes, kids football, parents. Yeah, I mentioned something that.
Jesus Christ.
What?
I talking about kids football and parents. Like, I got a fucking story for you.
Can't wait.
All right, so here we go. This is gonna be a fucking rant, and I've done this rant fucking 6 times and since fucking Saturday. But here we go. All right, so
about the parents,
about the coaching, the league, the fucking politics, the bullshit. So it all fucking reached a boiling point on Saturday. So my oldest plays. So in the Orange County Youth Football League that we're in, you have 4 divisions. You have Mighty Mites, which is the young guys, right? 6 and 7. You got D1, which is 8 and 9. D2, which is 10 and 11, and then D3 is 12 and 13. But the sticking point with D3 is those kids could play modified football, which is 7th and 8th grade for their middle school, or they can play this. So, some kids play it, some kids play for the school, but whatever. So my oldest is in D1, my youngest is in Mighty Mites. The Mighty Mites program is a lot cleaner of a program. It's more well ran. They like get all the kids in, right? D1 seems to be obsessed with winning, and they don't, all the coaches' sons play all the skill positions like running back and quarterback. Oh, and they play both ways. They play offense and defense, right? The whole game, don't fucking come out. There's a group of kids that, play the minimum plays, right? So per the league rules, depending on your roster size, you have to play X amount of plays. So Vin's on a big team. So he's got 30 kids on his team, right? So at 30 or more kids, he has to play a minimum of 6 plays. 2 weeks ago, their game against Warwick, he didn't get in at all until they got up. Warwick got up like 16-0. Then he played like the last 9 defensive plays. So it was like, all right, can't really say anything. He played his 9 plays, right? Even though it was bullshit. This past weekend, they're locked in a battle with Newburgh, 0-0. It goes overtime. Newburgh ends up winning 7-0. My son doesn't step foot on the field. Not one play.
The whole game.
The whole game.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and there was like 7 other kids too.
Wow.
So we're getting more and more angry in the stands because we know time's ticking because the scoreboard clock doesn't work. The refs on the field keep the score. Then they have like a nice announce booth and a guy like does play-by-play up there, or as like a PA announcer, and he announces 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter. There's an app that we use as parents. Like it gives us like the schedule, informative stuff. Who's bringing snacks, this, that, the other. Right. And there's that. There's a team chat option. So right when they say 2 minutes, one of the dads is like, hey, I want to have a meeting with like the coaches after this because like the rotation of players is is horrible, and like kids aren't playing, right?
Wow.
So all their parents start popping off. So then the one coach is like, "Oh yeah, we'll be available, after the game to talk." Then apparently, I didn't see it, but I guess it happened. The opposing team's coach, Newberg's coach, yelled at a kid on our team. So now they're like concerned with that. They're like trying to find a coach, and they were like overblowing that, and they were just trying to use that as like a crutch to not have to talk to us with the playing time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was such bullshit. So the president finally ends up walking over, and we talk to him. And, he's like defending his coaches, but he's also being receptive. So I got to give him that. And he's like, yeah, it's a problem. I'll fix it. But there's a kid on his team, and he's a very nice kid, and I feel terrible for him. But his parents, his dad's the head coach. His mom and dad are going through a nasty divorce. I guess it's a bad custody dispute, right? The kid doesn't practice all fucking week. They practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's a fucking huge commitment, right? 3 days a week they practice. This kid doesn't practice because I guess he's with mom. On the weekend, he shows up for the game, plays the whole fucking game. What are you teaching my kid? Now, again, I feel awful for this kid that he's going through that, and he doesn't deserve it. However, the way you could have fixed all this and not had me even fucking bring this up, if you just would have played my kid, I wouldn't have gave a fuck if your kid played.
Yeah.
But you're not playing my kid, the kid that goes to every fucking practice, but you're playing your kid who doesn't go to practice. That's just fucked up.
And you think that, like, this is obviously a fucking problem. Like, you think they'd be more conscious, like,
oh, dude,
I can't just play my kid.
And I got a good friend, there's a couple that me and my wife became close with. Their son's on my youngest team. They're also in the same class at school and stuff. And he coached football for 20 years, so he knows, and he coached youth football. He knows all the rules and everything. And he had the same problem with his son last year, and he addressed this. And they kind of told him, like, hey, this is how it is around here. Like, we care about winning and blah, blah, blah. But here's the
fuck out of here.
But here's the kicker. Ready? My oldest team, they're fucking 0-3, and they haven't scored a touchdown yet. They fucking suck. So you're all concerned with winning, but guess what? The team sucks. Your kid sucks. My kid sucks. They all suck. Like, how about you just fucking play them? Because I don't even care about winning at this age. And this is coming from the most competitive person you probably fucking know.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
30 years old. I still smash controllers if I lose that bad, okay? But at 8 and 9 years old, it ain't about fucking wins and losses. It's about them learning the game, learning to be a part of a team, learning how to coping with losing and shit like that. Being part of sports, it does help build skills for life, And that's what's important here. But all you're doing is crushing my poor kid's fucking confidence. Because he goes to practice all week and then you don't fucking play him. For what?
And he's got to sit there on the bench the whole fucking time and watch the whole fucking game.
And that's where it bothers me. And that's where we had to speak up because, like, now you're breaking my son's heart.
Yep. If
he came off the field with his 6 little plays and he was happy, then I don't give a fuck. He's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But what he did was wrong, and he knows it. And he sees the one kid that doesn't practice all the time. And he doesn't practice. Why does he play? He asked me that. And like my kid, I can teach my kid a lot of stuff, but he's not ready to have the whole politic talk, right? He doesn't need to know politics. That was, the coach's son. He's too young for that shit. He'll get old enough one day and realize life sucks. And, sometimes, people who don't fucking earn shit just get shit handed to him and whatnot. But that's for later on in life. He's not ready for that yet. And he shouldn't be because he's fucking 8.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking clown show, man. So now another parent spoke up and had like a long-winded, very well-worded message on Sunday. And then one of the coaches was like, all right, we're going to meet with parents on Tuesday at 6:30, like to voice their concerns,
There you go. That coach needs some sweet chin music.
That's right. Goddamn right he does. And that's the thing, man. And like, again, I don't want to be this guy, but like, they're all like fucking, out of shape, fucking like, they just seem like losers, these coaches. Like, they're trying to fucking live vicariously through their kids.
Yeah.
And like making up for their athletic shortcomings, they're like making it up through their kids. And it's fucking stupid. And I can beat all of them up. So it makes me angry. And I'm probably going to fucking break someone's jaw if someone breaks my kid's heart again.
See, I felt like it's like Donovan is not the most aggressive one out there. So there's maybe 8 kids, I think, on the team, and they put 6 on the field at a time. So they sit like 2 kids continuously, and there's like 2 kids, there's maybe three kids that get rotated out, and the other kids play because the 3 like weakest links. Unfortunately, my son is one of them right now.
Yeah.
But they do get but he's constantly rotating them in and out.
Okay.
And you know what? And one thing I saw, like when I first started watching, I'm like, all right, he's not explaining it too much to them. He's like because they're young and Donovan don't know shit about football. So it's like, all right, let's run plays and we're gonna do this and that. Like you gotta explain it to them a little bit slower. But then
Yeah.
now watching them, he's very much like direct. Grab them. Let me put you here. Let me put you there. Let's go, go, go. And you know what? And I mean, there's a lot of men when they get out there, they play. And like I said, like my kid, he's in there and he's grabbing and he's blocking and he's doing good. So it's like, look, whatever he's doing, it's getting them motivated and getting them into the game and keeping them interested. And that's good. Like nobody's upset about anything. But then again, yeah, we'd have to run into the same problem if you had to worry about rotating kids around.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you got to be conscious of that shit because his
And
kid obviously plays on a team.
It's very fucking easy to do. If you look, I know coaches got a lot going on. Like one coach trying to coach offense, one's trying to coach defense to worry about winning. Assign a fucking coach that's solely responsible for tracking how much the kids play. Because again, there's rules, right? Oh, and the other thing too with the county rule, if your kid doesn't play the amount of plays, so my son has to play 6 plays. If he doesn't play 6 plays, the head coach is to be suspended the following game. And I brought that up to the president. I was like, is the coach going to be suspended? You know, he really had nothing to say. Because it's like, you guys are fucking wrong. You know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So, but this is the thing. Have a coach dedicated or a parent, whatever. I told him I'll fucking do it. I'll sit there with a clipboard. The minute a kid hits his 6th play, I can just cross him off the list. Be like, it doesn't matter if he plays a play or 50 plays after this. He's good. He's covered, right? And you just go through it like that. The thing is, you could rotate it properly and still care about winning. There's 11 guys on a fucking football field per team, right? On offense and defense. So that means you have 11 kids out there. If you fucking keep your 7 studs in and you just rotate the other 4 just nonstop to get guys in play, you're going to be fine. And those 7 are going to be able to carry the fucking team and you'll be all right.
Now, when do you think is the time where it's like, look, you guys need to understand that, you know, you're third string.
Well, I think middle school's fair. When you start trying out for sports, that's the different ballgame. Again, we paid, there's no cuts here. We paid for our kid to go, and it's a non-drop-off sport, meaning when you bring your kid there, you have to stay because there's football, there's liability, you get hurt. So, dude, me and my wife, we're making the same commitment my son and these coaches are. I mean, it's 8-year-old and 9-year-olds on this team, right? These coaches aren't fucking coaching and then going home and watching tape and scouting. No, they're fucking at practice and they go home just like me. I'm there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Then Friday night, there's like events. And then on a fucking game on a weekend. I'm there just as much as my kid is. And I have no problem with that. But you're not going to not play them. This is fucking ridiculous. Again, once he gets to middle school, once he gets to high school, dude, high school coaches, they got to win. They got to keep their job. And that's where it's like, hey, they try out, there's cuts like that. I'm all for. Like, you want to prioritize winning at those levels? Absolutely, 100%. But we're not fucking there yet. I'm a good 5 years from that. And in these 5 years is where he can develop and be good there. But right now, you're just crushing his confidence. He's not going to want to fucking do it anymore.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart because he comes home, he loves football, and he talks about football, and he just wants to play football and do shit with football. He's enamored by the jerseys and the helmets and the gear, and he likes all the superstars in the NFL. He's got his favorite players, he's got his favorite quarterback, and he's always talking about it, asking questions. And yet, Saturday I have to fucking see him come off the field broken hearted because he didn't play at all.
That's a fucking
and that's
shame.
where you want to grab one of these fucks and be like, what the fuck's the matter with you? You're 40-year-old grown ass men and you're gonna do this to these kids?
Exactly. Right.
And we care about winning. Well, you suck. You're a shitty fucking coach. Yeah. And I hate to be that guy, and I don't fucking mean that fully, but it's just like, God, this isn't what it's about. No one fucking cares if you win or lose.
And you wonder, what is this fucking guy getting out of this by acting like that? You think you would know better.
And the shame of it too, dude, if I coached my own son, I would go out of my way to make it look like I don't favor him. Like, he could be the best fucking quarterback in the world. I probably wouldn't play him at quarterback because I wouldn't want people chirping like, oh, he only plays quarterback because he's your son.
That's what I was going to say. I would
fucking go out of my way. And I told my son that because he's like, oh, Dad, I wish you could coach. Because I get that because he thinks, hey, these guys coach, their sons play. But it's like, buddy, I'd probably be fucking harder on him. That's just how I operate. And I'd make sure every kid fucking plays. Because I don't lose sight of what's important. I don't give a fuck about the win. If everyone has fun and we win, awesome.
Yeah. When my dad coached me every single year of Little League.
Yeah.
I was always the first one to come out. I mean, granted, I wasn't the greatest fucking player anyway, but I was always the first one to come out, and I always sat the most because he was not going to play that favoritism, and he wasn't going to let anybody think that that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on one sec. Yeah, you got an issue with your mic, man.
Do I?
Yeah. Is your microphone too close to the speaker on your computer? Gotta get some headphones. Because every time when I mute you, the static and shit goes away. And I can hear myself. I can hear the echo of myself in your computer.
Well, my headphones aren't charged, so.
Gotta get the wired deals, man. Headphones are,
Well, I don't have a fucking.
All right, hold on. I just muted Seth for a second because we ran into this problem initially. There you go. He's going to get himself some headphones because you can hear my echo from his computer going through his microphone. So, fucking women, I'll tell you. Yeah, so Seth's going to get some kind of something or other. So yeah, I mean, I know we have friends that are dads, and exactly they all play friggin' sports, and the same shit happens. We all I don't get it. Like I said, I don't know what they get out of it for doing that. I mean, yeah, as parents themselves, like, what are you doing? Do you really need to favor your own kid? I mean, again, Seth's plugging in his headphones right now. So, again, because I've been a coach of kids, and I know that you can't favor your own kids because you can't. People can't do that. So
how do I hear you? How do you hear me?
I hear you. I don't hear myself anymore, which is better.
You don't hear yourself anymore?
I don't hear myself anymore. I still
Do
hear
you hear me?
I can hear you. I still hear a little bit of feedback. I don't fucking know why. Fuck.
There's nothing else I can do here.
I know. It started out like this, but then it went away after a few minutes. So maybe that'll happen.
These headphones are fucking stupid.
There's something. Somebody said be the assistant coach. Yeah. But
what's funny is, like, I have friends in other towns that they're coached because of that. But like, I don't want to do that, and I don't really have time to coach.
Yeah.
It's like that what I need to do, And if I did, I'm just change the coach, guys. I'm not coaching. So my kid play. He's gonna just like every other.
Yeah. No, you were the assistant coach. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, here's what my wife is saying is that, yeah, because I was trying to say that I coached, and here's my wife saying, no, you were the assistant coach. Yeah. Little League, I was the assistant coach. Soccer, I was the assistant coach to her. But whatever, you're missing the point. Anyway. Fuck, I was going to say something. What were we talking about before you stepped away? I was talking about... Oh, shit, now I lost my fucking train of thought. But yeah, I mean, the assistant coach is tough because the assistant coach can't really step in and say something because it's not like you and your buddy you're fucking coaching. It's your two separate parents with your own kids. You got your own things to worry about. Yeah, it's yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what somebody's getting out of that. That it blows my mind that somebody would still pull that shit.
I know, it's crazy, and like, it's so prevalent too. So it's not like it's just not isolated to, my town's football league.
This is what I was gonna say. Oh, but yeah, I mean that's true too. There's still plenty of coaches that pull this shit. But I mean, I guess like you mentioned too, which is ironically enough because I believe the coach of my kids' team is going through a divorce too. But I mean, maybe this is a way he's trying to win over his kid.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But don't do it on my fucking, watch here.
That's true. At your kid's expense, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, complete bullshit.
Oh my God. I love you too, Crystal. Fucking women, I'll tell you. It's like, you know, it's like I've got sister wives because now I'm in a group text with my wife and her friend, and they just are just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I have to just watch it go down. And I don't have one woman in my ear now; I got two. Great, but yeah, I mean, if that's the way of him like trying to, you know, win over his kid in a way, but I mean, is his kid good? Does his kid suck? Does his kid care about being out there?
Yeah, I mean, to me, they all suck. They're fucking 0-3, and they haven't scored a touchdown yet.
Well, there you go. They all suck, so that's what that says.
And again,
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying my son's an all-star. He's you know,
Yeah. That's not the
just come
point.
on. Right.
Yeah. One, you paid, but two,
Yeah.
because the kid wants to play and the kid he deserves to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
tomorrow's little meeting is going to be interesting because it's going to be fucking intense. Because I'm all for having cordial, open discussion and everyone being polite and whatnot. But like, if they start fucking bringing up winning and that's how it is, someone gets fucking loud. It's
yeah.
not going to be fucking good.
Yeah, I don't think they want to come up to you on that shit. I can see it now.
No,
Like
dude,
winning, that's bullshit. All right. My kid
yeah,
needs to play.
right. Oh, it's
So I'm trying to think of something else. So my kids had the pep rally on Friday. And I mean, I'm all the way on the one side of the field while the kids are all lining up on the other side, getting ready to, to run down. And all the kids are fucking around, roughhousing,
yeah,
wrestling. At one point, all of the younger kids go down, all of them in a wave, because there was one kid. I mean, I don't know if he's got a little something up, but he's aggressive with like all the kids. Like he shoves his own teammates, he growls in their face.
right.
He's got something up. His dad stays on top of him and tries to redirect him and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess away from that, one game we were at, there was a dad on the other team who was sitting next to us on the sidelines going, our kids don't know anything. 4 weeks they've been practicing. Our kids don't even know how to hike the ball. Your guys are lining up like they know how to do plays. Our guys don't know anything. These guys don't know what they're doing. I'm like laughing it off, like, yeah, well, I mean, our kids, I mean, they're not great. I mean, look at them out there, I want to be like, well, then how about you get the fuck off your ass and do something about it?
Yeah,
I don't see you out there fucking coaching. The guy
yeah,
looks like he's probably like 55 years old and he's got a 6-year-old kid on the team, 5-year-old kid on the team. So,
yeah.
he's just going to sit there and bitch. Like, he looks like he just came straight from the office. But, I mean, what the fuck you want him to do, man? And maybe these guys don't know football. They need to be a coach. I could have been a coach of football. They were looking for coaches for football. I don't want to be a football coach. I don't know shit. I don't know shit about soccer either, but at least they're just, okay, run and kick the ball. Football,
Yeah.
you got to teach them a little more fundamentals that I don't know.
Right.
But so why is this guy going to
Oh,
complain?
and that's the thing too. And like I try to because I don't lose sight the fact that these guys are volunteering their time.
Yeah.
But
But that's exactly the thing. Like this, yeah. I mean, again, that's different because he's not playing your kid like he needs to, and there's a
right,
rule
yeah, I'm not
directly
complaining
about
about fucking game plans. But if they are going to bring up that whole winning argument, then I'll fucking throw some shade at you because you suck. So
yeah, this guy was complaining that his kids couldn't even hike the ball. Meanwhile, they were out there and they really weren't doing that bad. First play, kid ran the ball back. I mean, they weren't terrible, but this guy was like, he had an axe to grind, man. He was upset about something, but really not that big a deal, dude. And just watching other kids, because football seems different. Soccer, you could pick out the kids who were problem child, like not just on my team, but like even on other teams. Football, you really can't see that. Kids are lining up and they're staying in their spots, and then when the game goes, they're allowed to be a little rough, so it's okay,
Yeah.
But I mean, even branching off of kids is something that came up the other day. I wrote it down in my notes. Like, I wish I could be like a bad kid vigilante. I'm in Walmart the other day, and I go down to toy aisles all the time just because. And there's a kid. He's with his grandmother. His grandmother looks very old and frail, and it's him and her. And I want to say maybe he's 9 or 10. He's older than my kid. He looked kind of old. And he's got a stuffed animal in his hand. He throws it on the ground, and she's trying to like ask him which one toy or something, and he's pointing at the fucking tag. He's like, "It's right there." And then she looks up at me, and he turns back and looks up at me, and she just splits. She just walks away. and then he follows her. Oh my God in heaven, do I wish I could have backhanded this kid up the side of his head. And like, again, I mean, me just getting old anyway. I'm like, that's your fucking grandmother. You show her some goddamn respect. Despite
Yeah.
the fact you're acting like a goddamn spoiled brat right now. How dare you do that? Oh my God. And I hate seeing stuff like that. And then nobody's saying anything about it. Like, look, man, I understand that kids need to be taught. Like my son is one of them. He has sometimes he goes off where he gets very emotional about shit. And if I yell at him and put him in his place, it makes it worse. I've got to
Yeah.
grab him and I've got to talk to him. And I've got to wind him down, wind him down, wind him down, which I don't like because I really wish like he just listen when I tell him not to do
Yeah.
something. Like, look, knock it off because I said so and that's it. And that works sometimes. But sometimes he flies off the handle and I got to really talk him down.
Yeah.
And thankfully though too, when my kids really fly off the handle, they're not in public. They're at home. They
Yeah.
don't pull that. They don't pull that shit in public. They have a lot more respect like that in public, which I like. My daughter has her iffy spots because she's a maniac. But yeah, but it's usually at home where they have their meltdowns. But
Well,
man,
right.
seeing
Obviously, that's what you'd rather happen. You know.
exactly, I know it's bound to happen. So thankfully, it happens at home. But yeah, when you see something like that, man, it's like, who's here to control this kid? Obviously, nobody. The grandma's not gonna because she's a grandma.
Yeah.
But man, somebody needs to step in and reel this kid in. And I wish to
Yeah.
God
That's
it could have been me.
well. Maybe you
I
should do that. You should start like a
no,
company or
I'm pretty sure I can't do that.
no.
No, by far not today, right? Well, I don't know. You tell me, Mister
No,
Trooper.
definitely not.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
never
not
mind.
okay.
Legally, you can't do anything now. Can't do anything with yelling or aggression or
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Kids today are out of control. Yeah, it's a whole different beast, man. The way you got to deal with them, and every kid, at my job, like in a leadership role. I mean, I'm not in a leadership role, but that's a thing where like everybody, they tell you like everybody needs to be treated differently, and you got to talk to people differently. Which, yeah, that's how it is because everybody's built differently. But kids are the exact same way, just like adults. So you got to talk to them differently, treat them differently. Every kid, not everything registers with every kid. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I wish that I could just tell my kid, no, knock it off because I said so and that's it. Or, I said no, but man, and even too, again, because I've got my daughter in cheerleading and I've got my son doing football. Every day of the week we're doing something and we're not used to that. So even me and my wife are shot at the end of the
Yeah.
week. So, with having school and then that, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a lot on a kid. And then some nights he gets home and he's shot. Like the one night he had school and then he had a game that we had to drive like a half hour away to after school, drive a half an hour to the game, play the game, drive an hour home. And like I came home and he wanted a piece of chocolate and it was like 9 o'clock at night. I was like, no, you're not getting that right now. Flew off the handle. And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, you need to lay down and go to bed because
Yeah.
you're throwing a fit about something so ridiculous right now. I'm not even dealing with it. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not
Yeah.
nothing. You clearly are way overtired and need to sit
Yeah.
your ass down before things get bad.
How'd
Yeah,
that go?
it happened. He laid down and
Oh, okay.
eventually
Good.
passed out. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that was the deal. My kids, they get hangry and they get tired.
Oh
And
yeah,
that
mine do
and
too.
yep, and that's when
Yep.
their emotions are out of control. Those are usually the two things that are going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot. And you don't think about that, this little shit's a lot on them, but seeing it because it's again, with school and in this too, it's a change for my kids, and it could be a lot on them, man. And then trying to figure out like, okay, let me keep my cool because if I fly off the handle, it's happened and it doesn't work. So let me
Yeah.
try to reel it back in and talk them down. Yeah, because it's constant negotiation. It's a constant battle. It's fucking
I know.
exhausting.
They're relentless.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, forget about it. Relentless. And I've got the deal. I don't know. Do your kids do this where if one of them is good, the other one is, or if one of them is bad, the other one is good?
Um, that's happened. I think they're growing out of that. I don't see that as much anymore, but definitely when they were younger. Like I would joke with my wife, like each week I change like my opinion on who's my favorite kid,
See, my kids love to it's switched. It used to be my daughter was the nightmare. Now my son's a little bit more emotional. And
Yeah.
then when my son's acting like that, my daughter's like, I'm being good, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
no, you can't have that. And she'll go, okay, daddy. Like she'll be
Yeah.
so sweet about it. Meanwhile, if he wasn't acting like a monster right now, she'd be throwing a fit just as bad.
Yeah, no, they don't do that anymore. Probably grew out of that. So
Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. I hope. Because that's that too. Some people are like, it doesn't get any better. Like, I don't want to hear that, man. Don't tell me it doesn't get
yeah,
any
you know
better.
what? I fucking the people that told me that when these kids were like toddlers and shit. It's like, oh, it only gets worse. No, it doesn't. I think that's bullshit. I think it gets easier. Like I could fucking tell Vincent, like, hey, hop in the car and put your seatbelt on. Fucking 4 years ago, I had to fucking do everything for him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's different. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously.
no, obviously now like they'll talk back, but I think parents like I'm not worrying about diapers and all the shit. I think people are full of shit when they're like, oh, it only gets harder. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
certain aspects
but that's what it is.
get
Certain aspect,
harder,
like
but
obviously,
yeah,
yeah, the kids get easier to maintain. They can do a lot
yeah.
more on their own. But I mean,
Like we can go out to eat right
emotionally
now
and
as a family and like have a sit down dinner and be good to go. They'll get their food, they'll eat, 5 years ago, like you don't know. Ticking time bomb over there, you didn't get what you wanted, it flips out, doesn't want to eat, is walking around.
Scott McKinley says it gets better. So thank you,
Yeah,
Scott.
see? There you go. Me and Scott, same page.
Scott, who is the voice of the audio book for Lennon, what is it? Lennon, the Lawyer, and the Mob, which is actually a really popular book that's out now. He did the audio recording for it on Audible,
Nice.
which is really cool. The guy did a lot. He was on the Chris Jericho podcast
Oh,
talking about
cool.
the book. Yeah, and Scott being a voice actor after getting away from our old job at ADP, he pursued voice acting, and he's done book recordings and stuff like that, which is very cool.
That is cool. I've never listened to an audiobook.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah, I'm going to though because I have one in mind that I want to listen to. But
it's tough because like podcast, like you're not in the car that much, so podcasts take up a lot of time. But
yeah,
audiobooks are really good too. I downloaded Ron Perlman's and I started listening to it. And I never kept up. But same thing with Bruce Campbell's.
yeah.
Somebody said it got better for us when they completed middle school. When they completed middle school, so that's a long way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
guess
I already see an improvement personally. But
it depends on the deal, because yeah, my kids are definitely better than they used to be, but
yeah,
in certain things, in certain regards, yeah, they're definitely be little ticking time bombs for sure.
yeah, oh yeah,
So yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think what other notes I had. It's funny how everything now being a dad, like my wife and I, we went out to dinner, just the two of us the other day, which we don't do often. And we finally did and went out. And then honestly, like most parents do, you just talk about your kids the whole time.
yeah,
And that's what
yep,
happens.
yeah,
You get to be a parent. I mean, there's nothing else going on.
yep,
It seems like, but you know. And I was
yep,
trying to run down the list too. I mean, I did make a list. I wonder if I still have the list from when I was planning our next show before it didn't happen, because there's been so much shit that when I should have been keeping notes the whole time. I'm trying to think of all the other shit that's been going on, and it's been nuts. But yeah, I don't have that list anymore. Maybe I deleted it. I don't know if we ever come back to it, or we'll start taking notes throughout the week and see how it goes. Because obviously, everything's still fucking crazy around here.
yeah. I'm saying, I think it's safe to report that we no longer have to have a fucking COVID update.
Yeah, I know, right? Our podcast was very COVID heavy.
Yeah,
We had
I mean,
COVID.
dude, that was a very big topic for everyone, So,
Yeah, speaking, my dad just had it a week ago.
how's he doing?
He's better. He's been good for a week, but I think
Yeah,
he had it for like a solid week. Like
yeah,
he was taking tests every morning, and he was positive every morning for a week. He was supposed to go out to dinner for Uncle Ronnie's birthday. He took the test. He just texted me back with a picture. He said, "Fuck this," and with a picture of a positive testing. I'm like, "Holy shit, man! You tested positive like 4 days ago. You still got it, man."
yeah,
But yeah, he said he felt like crap. But it was like, yeah, imagine if you didn't have, your vaccine and your booster, he would end up in the hospital least he had something to fight
Come
against it,
on,
I guess.
you don't
I don't,
fucking know that. Stop.
I mean, but yeah, it's got to be doing something, right?
Yeah, I've had it twice. Didn't fucking sniff a fucking hospital.
Yeah, well, I know Jack LaLanne. All right, I know you. It's like a
Yeah,
fucking
but I know
it's
plenty
a
of other
sniffle
people
to
that are
you.
like that too.
Are you vaccinated yet? No,
Fuck no. What you think I'd be vaccinated now?
I don't know.
You think I've came all this way to fucking get vaccinated now when things over?
Which is funny because I know, right? Like it's like there's no
No.
force on it.
The
Like
only
who
way I
gives
was
a
getting
shit?
vaccinated is if they threatened me with my job. That's it. Because obviously I'm halfway to a pension. I got a family, but that would be bullshit. And I'm glad it didn't come to that. And I don't begrudge anyone who did get vaccinated, but I don't
Yeah.
buy the whole. I don't feel like there's any way to prove like, oh, he would have went to the hospital if he wasn't vaccinated. No one
No,
fucking knows that.
there's definitely
There's
not a way
no
to
way to know
prove it for
because I
sure.
know there's plenty of people I know that had COVID that were vaccinated that got COVID way worse than I did, and I'm unvaccinated. I know that for a fact because I saw it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can say the opposite. There's people who are unvaccinated who got it and fucking died, but there's plenty of people who are vaccinated that got it and died. Not everyone fucking dying these last 2 years was vaccinated. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Or
but
unvaccinated. That's just not the case.
which is funny though too because there's no reports on who's dying from it. It's
No,
just
because dude,
finally we're past it.
I think they're kind of like, like it doesn't really fucking matter anymore. You saw the CDC came out a couple weeks ago, like, hey, treat everyone the same, vaccinated, unvaccinated, you follow the same guidelines.
Yeah, you no longer
So,
have to quarantine.
right.
If you're I
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I think the last 2 years has taught us something that like should have been forever. It's like, hey, if you're sick, don't be an asshole. Stay home.
That's exactly what
No
it's come
matter
down
what
to.
it is, stomach bug, flu, cold,
Yeah,
COVID, just stay home.
yeah. If you're not feeling well, stay home. That's it. COVID,
So
no COVID, COVID, flu, fucking common
also
cold, stomach bug.
it probably taught people to like be more conscious of their hygiene. All good
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. Stay away from people and shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely some of the case. It's like just normal handling of it now. Which again, what is it? I know we could get on a whole political route and bullshit of it, but I think it was very much not knowing. So it's like being better safe
Yeah.
than sorry. That's the vibe
Oh
I
well,
got.
yeah, I was fine with that. But when we were fucking a year and a half in, it's like, okay, guys, we got enough fucking data here. Let's move it along.
Well, I mean, still not so, I guess, because it's like they still don't know. But now it's just like, what are you gonna do? You gotta just deal with it.
Well, but that's the thing. We've finally came to that. Like, you just got to deal with it. And look, I mean,
Yeah. And now
everything's okay. Yeah, sure. There's people still getting it, but there's people getting other sicknesses too. It is what it is. But if you go out on a Saturday, I think we can all agree that no one gives a fuck anymore because
that's exactly
places are packed. Everything's fucking, and even like last summer, shit was packed, but like, oh, still got to worry. It's like, but do you really care? Like, I went to the Met Yankee game on August 22nd at Yankee Stadium. I saw like a mother and daughter like wearing masks. It's like, just stay the fuck home, would you?
Well, that's a thing too. So, ironically, that's right. Scott texted me before. I have COVID right now. Just saying.
Well, I'm sure, and I hate. It's unfortunate you have it, but how you feeling, Scott?
That's what I was just gonna ask. How you feeling, Scott?
You'll probably be all right,
Feeling
right?
all right? Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, you know what? But I like sometimes I'll go to the grocery store, one or two people wearing a mask. I go to pick up my kid from school, somebody wearing a mask. If I see somebody wearing a mask now, I almost think like, okay, they're being considerate. Maybe they have it, but they've got to go out. They've got to go out and pick up their kid. They got to go food shopping. They're being considerate enough to wear a mask to not contaminate other people.
Yeah,
I don't look at them like, look at this fucking dumbass still worrying about COVID. It's not like that. It's like, okay, maybe they're sick.
Well,
It almost made me think like, if I do have a cold, if I feel like I'm getting sick, then what's the fucking problem if I just put a mask on and go out and not get anybody else sick? COVID, fucking flu, whatever, cold, it doesn't matter.
Right, but also too, like,
people.
but what's crazy is like if you care enough to wear a mask and like got your vaccines and stuff, if you have COVID and you go out in public, like, to me that just doesn't jive with like
you're being
like if I went out with COVID, you'd be like, oh well, yeah, of course, that guy's an asshole when it comes to COVID because he doesn't give a fuck. The person who cares enough to wear a mask, I feel like they shouldn't be out with COVID because you shouldn't be out with COVID.
Well, that's true, but I would think some people have to. Like somebody that has to pick up their kid from school.
But back in 2020, when it was so taboo to go out, like, what'd you do then? You know, we
Well,
got fucking, all these different services now and everything,
yeah, I mean, yeah, for growth, but again, like something like I said, like deliberately picking your kid up from school. Nobody else can do that.
Well, if you're picking your kid up from school, I shouldn't see you with a mask. You should be in your fucking car,
Well,
you
no,
know?
we don't. There's no pickup line at our deal. You got to get out and wait for your kid to get out of class, and stay.
Oh,
Everybody stands together, pretty much.
well. But anyway, the couple I saw at Yankee Stadium, I don't think they had COVID.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay.
Fifty
So they're
thousand
just being
people,
safe.
right? But like, you're really not that fucking worried. You're in a 50,000 fucking seat stadium, jam packed, fucking drinking your beer and eating your hot dog, with your mask off. Just like, I don't know. To me, it's just a fucking charade at this point.
All right. So Scott said, I got is it monoclonal treatment at the ER. Feeling better now. Sore throat still bad. I went mask to awake with
Well,
COVID.
see, Scott brings up a good point right there too, and I'm glad you're feeling better, Scott. Wearing a mask to awake. That's one, that's considerate, and two, awake is way too important to miss. Do you remember at the beginning of this fucking craziness, you couldn't even have fucking services for lost family members?
Yeah,
You couldn't go say goodbye to them in a fucking hospital?
it's a shame.
So
Terrible.
I'm glad Scott was able to make the wake and wore a mask being considerate. But like, we couldn't have done that fucking 2 years ago,
Yeah, but that's why, because like nobody knew. You know who the
Right, I
fuck
know,
knows
but
how
some
bad
things,
this could
so,
be.
but some things are more important.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember
That's
like
all.
you heard stories and it's terrible. Um. Ah, there you go. He got COVID at the wake and
Oh,
wearing a mask. So that shoots down any
yeah,
any.
that doesn't help your argument
That
there.
doesn't help my
Smash.
argument at all, Scott. Thanks a lot.
See, that's the thing, man. When we were our most masked, when
Damn
we
it, I
were at
shouldn't have
our
put that out
most
there.
masked up was last Christmas, right? That was like when the mask mandate was in effect, the whole nine, and that was the highest spike of COVID in our area. Remember Christmas? It was like everyone had it. Remember
Yeah.
those lines down in New York City, people waiting to get tests for the holidays and shit? We were under a mask mandate, and that was our highest case rate. So again,
Yeah.
if masks work, I don't know how that happened.
It's people, and what they're doing, where they're going. At New York Comic Con this year, I believe they are actually I believe you have to wear a mask to go.
This year, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Like the
I don't know.
inconsistency, like it's just like, yeah, you got to wear a mask there, but then when on the fucking train ride home, you don't. On the bus ride home now, you don't. Like, what the fuck?
Scott said no one else was masked. Some weren't vaccinated. So it goes around. But yeah, I mean, with New York Comic Con, I guess. I mean, because it's a shitload of people. Like you're talking like I don't know. Is it? I forget. 250,000 people, a couple 100,000 people in this condensed space.
Yeah,
So I mean, but it's no different than anything else. Like okay, what if somebody's got the flu and they're going?
right.
I mean, we weren't doing it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, so that's something else that, yeah, what else? So somebody said the mask doesn't do shit. Maybe it keeps some bacteria from getting spread, but certainly not all. Like trying to keep from getting bit by a mosquito, but putting a chain link fence around it. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. I think the mask does
Hey,
something.
dude, I don't know how you can fucking stick to that argument. Again, highest case rate, we were under a mask mandate.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And
But
again,
doc,
like Scott here, not to, and I'm glad he's okay, but like no one else was wearing a mask, but he was wearing a mask. Well, where's that protection? Why did he get it if he's wearing a mask? I just
yeah,
think it's like you're shit out of luck. It's just like luck of the draw. I know people that were like super, super safe, took all the precautions, but still got it. Like, there's people getting it that didn't leave their house. Like, how the fuck does that happen?
I don't know. That's clearly not the case. You had to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, okay. Well, people like pass it to, but like but then there's people that didn't wear a fucking man, didn't care, and haven't got it. Like my father-in-law, for
Well,
instance,
yeah,
he doesn't give a shit. He hasn't had it yet.
he hasn't got COVID yet.
No. Well, I
Wow.
mean, but again, he didn't. I don't think he got tested either. And then you hear that too. There's people that had colds that are just like, I didn't get tested. Maybe they had
Yeah.
COVID, maybe they didn't. And that's another thing too. How many people had COVID that we'll never know about, right? Because they didn't get tested. That hurts the numbers for my argument. Because if they got tested and they came out of it on the other side, okay, guess what? That would make the fucking death rate go way much lower.
Yeah. Yeah, because you never
So,
know now. Now it's like, oh,
right,
geez, I feel a little under the weather. What do I got? Do I got COVID or do I got just a fucking, is it my
right,
allergies kicking in?
yeah.
Because it affects everybody so differently. That's it. It's so rough, and it's such a pain in the ass to have to worry about and deal with. All because
I'm just
somebody,
glad we're at where we are now.
I don't know, somebody
Like,
fucked a pangolin or something. What happened? How did this all start?
well, the rumor was someone ate a bat, but I don't think that's
Yeah, something about a pangolin, which is like some kind of. It looks like one of those things in Texas, an armadillo.
hmm.
Kind of looks like that. It looks like that mixed with a ferret. I think I don't know. South Park did a whole episode on it, which was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, some
Well,
weird.
there you go. Then that's definitely how it happened. South
They're
Park.
usually pretty good with that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I know. But yeah, but it's yeah. So Scott was able to trace it all the way down, which is I hugged the deceased sister. She got COVID as well as her husband. So I mean, it's wild that you could trace it back that far, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with it. It's like, what can we do other than live our lives?
Well, that's it, man. Like when I got COVID the first time, my wife didn't get it. I sleep in the same bed as
I
her.
know. That's my
When
mother
she
didn't get it.
when she got COVID later on that year, I didn't get COVID.
Yeah. My mother didn't get it.
Right.
My father had it for a straight week. My mother didn't get it. My mother was
And
also
again,
like, though, she's like, we don't really go near each other. Plus I go to work. So,
right. But
so
sometimes you can't avoid it. Like quarantine. When I got it in May of 2020, it was still relatively new. Quarantining from my family just wasn't realistic. Where am I going to go? I don't have a second house.
yeah.
I don't have a downstairs apartment. Like I need to shower and eat.
Yeah, and it's funny. It feels like it was so long ago, but like I remember that because my wife was very scared of it, and we were coming home, man. We were like, "All right, you're in the foyer or the mud room, whatever. All right, strip your clothes off, spray down
Yeah,
every grocery
and
that we bought
it
with
is funny.
Lysol."
It's funny looking back at how fucking dumb everyone was.
Well, because you didn't know, and
Right,
that's what
but
it was.
dude,
It was
the
better safe than
one
sorry.
the one way arrows in the fucking supermarket in the
Yeah,
aisles, that will go down as the most embarrassing thing we have collectively done as a fucking country. Like, are you kidding me? And then people would go down the wrong way and they'd like back up. I'm like, oh my God, turn the fuck around. We go in reverse, beep, beep, beep. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
we've talked
Oh
about
my
that. No,
God. But
nobody
then
paid
at the
attention to
but
that.
then at the end caps, where like the meat and the dairy are, where that was a free for all. That was the Autobahn. Go wherever the fuck you want. Well, if you go down the fucking bread aisle, you better go that way, or you're getting a fucking ticket.
Yeah, I know. Who's there to enforce that? And then you got people bitching at people about that. Because yeah, it
Dude,
was. It was such a bad time.
I saw a funny video a couple months ago. It was like when COVID first hit. It was like someone in like a Tyvek suit. They had their groceries. They were spraying it with Lysol and all that
Yeah,
stuff, right?
that's what we
Then
used to do.
it was like a few months later. Now they had like the mask on, still Lysoling. Then a few months later, like the mask was like half off. A few months later, they're like getting out of their car, like ripping the mask off. Like everyone just got tired of it.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck those arrows. I used to go nuts.
Oh, it was so stupid.
Yeah,
And then I would see people in the grocery store like fighting with each other. Like, oh, you can't go down this way.
yeah.
What are you gonna give me a fucking ticket? It was just
Well,
like
that was shit too. And I mean, we talked about all this on our COVID corner on our earlier episodes. But you see shit like that, like people post videos online of people fighting about dumb shit like that. But I
yeah,
actually did see that stuff happen, which is a shame. It lets you know. I mean, if I actually saw it, not just saw it online, then this is
yeah.
pretty rampant that it's
Oh
happening
yeah,
in places, and it's a
yeah. I
bummer.
saw people getting arguments about it.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, we're
I mean,
all
and I get the whole like safety precautions. Some stuff was just so dumb.
yeah, because it
The
was panic
wearing,
mode.
like the wearing your mask to go to the bathroom in a restaurant. I loved it. And the best part was like once you were seated, you weren't even actively eating yet. Because we all know you go to a restaurant, it takes 15, 20 minutes before you get your food. The minute you sat down, it was like you're in home base. Like, oh, mask off. Like I'm seated. I'm safe. can't get COVID, sit it down. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, I know. Only the people in the table next to you can get infected instead of you infecting the whole restaurant by walking through and breathing.
Yeah. And again,
Much.
when you're with a party of people and you're sitting down, you're eating, you're opening your mouth, you're probably animated and talking. Yet when you walk to the bathroom, you're probably walking there like this. Deadpan,
Yeah.
like not opening your mouth.
Let me hold my breath. It's.
It was
But
so
again, I mean, now we're a little more using common sense about it, which is good.
right. Which is of course, we're in a good spot now. So.
Yeah. Scott also wants to know if we checked out the new Bill Burr special on Netflix.
Oh fuck yeah!
I believe I did too.
I actually saw him at Bethel Woods, and it was the same. This special, I think he kind of goes around, does the same show. Little difference here and there, like depending on what city he's at. Like someone in a crowd was busting his balls about the Celtics because like 2 days prior to the show, the Celtics got eliminated from the playoffs. So, he kind of touched on that. But we saw him in Bethel. It was awesome. And then, the Netflix special, a lot of the same stuff, but he's the best.
Yeah, I watched it and it was real. I don't remember anything from it because I watched it a while back, but it was really funny. He's one of the best, man. Even when he was on Saturday Night Live,
he's unbelievable, man. He's just like genuinely like funny. Like if you listen to his podcast and stuff, he very rare. Like he's got some like things he'll like routinely say, but like he doesn't repeat a lot of stuff. He's just a funny guy.
Yeah,
he's just.
Ironically enough, I'm drinking a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which I believe last year around this time he was on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah,
and he did a Saturday Night Live bit about the new Saturday Night, Sam Adams Jacko Pumpkin Ale.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, it's not bad actually, but it's only like 4 point something. It's not something I'm going to rush out and get. You haven't seen this?
What?
This Saturday Night Live bit?
I think it does sound familiar. I did see skits from Saturday Night Live.
I must have sent it to you because I've sent it everywhere. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And Sam Adams plays right into it, which is funny. Because like they would post, be like, hey, we only got a little bit of this pumpkin shit left. Talking about that. And I commented on one of the posts. I was like, yeah, it's a little bit sweet and something, or it's a little bit sweet and shit, but there's nothing left to drink. And like, they'll like it, I mean,
yeah,
it's funny. They play right into it because it's good. But I mean, yeah, you drink it. You're like, oh my, what am I going to drink this as a regular beer?
Yeah. Some of them.
But it's such a great bit.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know how many points you scored in one game. I assume they're referring to basketball.
In high school at Tuxedo against Florida, I scored 44 points.
The fuck out of here, really?
Yeah, bro, you were there. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I was there. This goes back to everything. You were there scoring baskets, and I was there taking pictures for the yearbook.
It's a school record that, from my knowledge, still stands today.
Really? That was Justin Wright asked that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there taking pictures for the yearbooks. Yeah, I was there all the time. I remember because we had a big rivalry with Florida, you dunked in that game, and they called timeout like right after. Like we were jumping out of the bleachers and shit.
Yeah,
that was cool. That was our big thing.
Yeah, that was.
No football by us. Not basketball was our big deal.
Yeah.
Yep, those were the days.
Oh yeah.
Man, this was a fast hour and a half.
It was
really fast.
A lot of catching up,
Yeah, I know. I feel like I had other stuff I wanted to talk about. We didn't talk about shit.
We'll save it for next week.
Yep. Same as always. The kids take up everything.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
You got anything going on? You got anything else you want to plug or anything?
No plugs. Actually, my wife is selling skincare stuff. So all you listeners out there, buy some stuff from her.
There you go.
It'll help us out. It's called New Skin.
And the First Ladies team, you can plug that too. Go follow that on Instagram.
If you follow First Ladies, you'll find your way to the skincare stuff too. So get on that.
Yeah. I have a ton of shit to plug. Tomorrow night I will be on the at 7 p.m. I will be on the Comic Book Club Live podcast, promoting my comic book, Championship Wrestling League, which is a huge podcast. Actually, they've had the cream of the crop of comic book creators on there, like Scott Snyder, who wrote Batman for a long time, and he was on there. And it's funny, Hurricane Helms, the wrestler, just he's apparently a listener, and he just posted that like they recommended a book and he picked it up, so he listens to their podcast too. So yeah, it's a really big podcast. I've been listening to it for like 10 years. It's such an awesome podcast, and I'm actually going to be on it, which is wild. It's so cool.
Right.
I got asked to do a small little comic convention at the end of October. Yeah, plus, same old shit. Pop Quiz Apparel. Go pick up my comic book, Championship Wrestling League #1. If you go to my Instagram page at Mike Spear Jr., and I have one of those little linker things in my bio. You can go there and see all the shit I got going on. The T Public store with all the T-shirts. And we'll try to make this a regular thing, and we'll start making some, mind your effing business merchandise. T Public makes it really easy to make your own shirts and shit, which is super cool. I can't wait to buy a Championship Wrestling League shirt for myself, and then, a shirt with my own face on it from the Mind Your Effing Business podcast. So check that out too.
Quick shout out to Scott. Thank you very much. Thanks
Yeah,
for listening.
exactly. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for listening. I tell you what, no bullshit. We had a lot of new listeners this time. I think promoting it and making it like scheduling it in advance, I think gave a lot of people some notice, and a lot of people popped in and out to check it out. So we had a lot of new listeners and people checking it out this time. So yeah, this will be available on Apple Podcasts and everything like that too soon. So and Spotify. So thanks everybody for listening. We're really gonna try to get back into it, make this a regular thing. We'll see how the coming months go, and as dads and with life, shit always changes. But yeah, we'll try to keep it going Monday nights at 9:30, and two guys bullshitting about life, and hope you enjoy it.
Hell yeah!
Alrighty, man. I will. I'll text you memes back and forth all week, and then we'll chat next Monday.
Sounds good, man.
All right, dude. Have a good night.
All right.
Talk to you
too.
later. All right, man. Bye.